Greetings, friends. Welcome again back to my game room. Mark Gagne is a graphic artist and has a very bold and unique style. He's done some beautiful poster work and designs for t-shirts and packaging. And this little game here is one of his creations, simply called Wolf. And he created the cards for the game Wolf in his own unique and bold style. Very minimalist. We can make this a good game for non-readers who would like to play the games. The deck of Wolf cards begins with the Shepherd's Crook, assigned the lowest rank. This is followed by the sheep, 1 sheep, 2 sheep, 3 sheep. Then the fences, which keep the predator and prey separated. Next come the wolves, either 1 wolf or 2 wolves. And finally, of course, the wolf in sheep's clothing, the most powerful of the cards. The basic game of Wolf is very, very similar to the classic traditional game of war that's played with a standard poker deck. The players each get half the deck. They randomly flip over a card. If they match, then they put another face down. They flip them over again. And based on that ranking I just described, the winner gets the cards out of the center and adds them to their deck, and they just continue, rinse and repeat, until somebody has won all the cards in the deck. And that's a fun little game, easy way to introduce the cards to a new player. As I looked at the Wolf deck, I told Mark I think there's another level of game design possible with these cards. It's an intriguing idea, the wolf in sheep's clothing and the fences and the herd. And so I proposed to him a new set of rules, and he graciously included those in the published game of Wolf. And that goes like this. The objective is to collect the largest herd of sheep that can be protected by a piece of fence, and you are trying to avoid the wolves, and especially the wolf in sheep's clothing. Yeah, there's one in here, right there, who can break down those fences and reach the herd anyway. The wolves hinder the herd collection efforts of the other players. It can be played with 2 to 4 players, each holding a hand of 3 cards, from which they make their choices of how they want to play to the table in front of them as they collect cards, or to the discard as they use the wolves to break down the other players' efforts. Sheep cards are played to the table in front of you, and you're trying to grow your herd. You can have more than 1 herd at a time, but of course that's risky. Depending on how many other players, you can be attacked by the wolves, and they can take out your sheep. I'll explain that in a second. Then you draw a card to replenish your hand. When your next turn comes around, we can play a fence. The fence card protects that herd, locks it in. You can't add to that herd anymore, but now it will be protected from the wolves. If this is somebody else's herd, I can attack that herd with wolf. Now the wolves take out the same number of sheep or less as the number of wolves on the card, and you can play more than 1 wolf card in a turn. There's 4 sheep in this herd. I play a 2 wolf card, I can only take out the single because it's not enough to take out the 3. All right. But if I played 2 double wolf cards, like so, I could take out the entire herd. And that all goes into the discard pile out of the game. So you want to protect those herds. The Shepherd's Crook has a very special power to it in that you can use this to essentially resurrect a card that's already been discarded. So I can play this card to the discard pile and then take any card from the discard pile that's already been played and put it into my hand. That's my entire turn, and it can be done secretly so nobody knows what card you took. If you're an aggressive player, if you have competition from a specific player and you want to take out their herd, grab those wolf cards. But if you want to grow your herd, you'll grab those sheep cards. So there's some decision to be made when the crook comes up. And then finally we get to the wolf in sheep's clothing, and this is the most powerful card in the entire deck because it can remove a fence card. Just as if you were taking out a sheep, you take the fence card you're eliminating and they both go into the discard pile. Or the Wolf in Sheep's Clothing can take out any single sheep card, whether it's a 1 sheep, 2 sheep, or 3 sheep card. So it has a little extra power that way too, and there's a few of these in the deck. So that's a real nice card to have and hold strategically until you have a fence that you might want to take out. And then your other wolves can go in and reduce that herd. When the last card is taken from the deck, the game continues until all hands are empty. So you play every card that you have. Those last few cards, if you're a superhuman card counter, you can kind of tell what might still be in people's hands as you go around the table. That last couple of rounds can be mighty competitive. But ultimately, when you're done, everybody opens up the gates and takes account of who has the largest herd, and that person wins. Now, if there's a tie, the person with the fewest fences will win the game. It's kind of a reflection of their skill and their risk-taking to build their herds up. And that's the game of Wolf, a very nice little 50-card deck that very easy to set up and play with 2 to 4 players, or you can play the traditional war game as well. The back of the box shows the ranking of the cards very obviously, and of course so does the rule book. The link to get your own copy is right here in the show notes, so I encourage you to pick up a copy, and I'm sure you'll enjoy hours of fun with the card game Wolf. Thanks again for joining us here today, and I hope you will subscribe. If you haven't yet, hit that little bell so that we can notify you when a new episode is posted. And if you have any questions or comments, by all means let me know, and I will respond as soon as I can. And look forward to having you tune in again for some future games. Meanwhile, like I always say, whether you're playing Wolf or some other game, be sure to play every day.